Good evening. My name is Dr. Andra Arcangell, and tonight I'm not standing here as a doctor. I'm standing here as a witness to the final days of a man who changed the world and changed my life too. On April 14th, Pope Francis was brought into the hospital. He was struggling to breathe. His heart was weak. He had been fighting a relentless battle with double pneumonia, heart failure, and more complications than I can count. And yet, his spirit was unbreakable. I remember sitting by his bedside, monitoring his fragile heartbeat when he opened his eyes, and with what little strength he had left, he whispered to me, "Jesus is everything. Without him, we are nothing." Those were not just words. They were his truth. Even as he fought for every breath, he was filled not with fear, but with overwhelming love. He cried, not because he was afraid to die, but because he wanted the world to keep loving the way he had tried to love. He told me, "The people have given me so much love. I pray the world keeps loving this way. Don't stop." I will never forget the tears that streamed down his face, the strength in his eyes, the way he held on to hope until the very end. He wanted to live, not for himself, but because he still had so much love left to give to a broken, hurting world. But on the 21st of April, after weeks of fighting, his body could no longer bear the weight his spirit carried. He slipped into coma peacefully, surrounded by prayer and love. And then he went home. Signing his death certificate was the hardest thing I've ever done, because I knew I wasn't just signing for a man. I was witnessing the homecoming of a soul so deeply loved by heaven. Tonight, I share this not out of sadness, but out of gratitude, because I had the honor of hearing the last words of a saint, and through his final breath, he taught me, and I hope all of us, that love never ends. Pope Francis didn't leave us empty. He left us full of hope, full of faith, full of a mission to love louder, forgive faster, and walk more humbly. He is not gone. He lives wherever love lives. Thank you, Papa. We will keep loving, just like you asked.
I saw you fighting every breath, a heart that loved until the end. You didn't cry for what was lost. You wept for all you couldn't mend. Your hands were frail, your eyes still burned with dreams you never let decay. You whispered through the broken air, "Don't stop the love, keep it that way." And you taught us how to stay when the nights are cold, when the hope fades away. You showed us love's a sacred flame, not just a word, but a holy name. You gave your breath, you gave your light. You made the darkest hours bright. You didn't just leave, you paved the way. You taught us how to stay. I watched you hold the cross so tight, like a child holds the hand of grace. You smiled through the trembling pain, still blessing every stranger's face. You said that Jesus was your road. You said the people were your sky. Even when your body broke, your spirit chose to rise, not die. And you taught us how to stay when the nights are cold, when the hope fades away.
You gave your breath, you gave your life, you made
Every prayer, every tear, every hope still echoes here. You are not a shadow, not a name. You are the fire we'll never tame. And you taught us how to stay when the mountains moved, when the skies turned gray. You showed us love outlasts the grave. You are the light that love will save. You gave your breath, you gave your fight. You turned goodbye into the light. You didn't just leave, you showed the way. You taught us how to stay.
Dr. Arcangell, I don't think any words I say right now can truly match what you just gave us. Tonight, you didn't just perform. You opened a door into one of the most sacred, intimate moments a human being could ever witness. And you allowed us to walk through it gently, quietly, reverently. There was no show tonight, no spotlight chasing fame. There was just truth. Raw, beautiful truth. Through your song, we could almost feel Pope Francis sitting there, not as a distant figure dressed in robes, but as a humble man who fought for love, for kindness, for faith, until his very last breath. You showed us that real greatness isn't about the applause you receive in life. It's about the love you leave behind. And through your voice, we didn't just hear about his last moments, we felt the strength of a spirit refusing to let the world forget what truly matters. What moved me the most tonight was your honesty. You didn't paint him as a perfect man. You painted him as a deeply human one. Someone who cried, who loved fiercely, and who never stopped believing even as his own body failed him. And in doing that, you honored him more perfectly than any monument, any statue ever could. You reminded us all that faith isn't found in grand speeches or gold crowns. It's found in simple acts of mercy, in the willingness to hold another's hand when they're too weak to stand, in the courage to love louder when the world tries to turn colder. Tonight, you made us remember that the greatest legacies are written not in stone, but in hearts. You gave Pope Francis a gift tonight, but you also gave the world a gift, the chance to hear the echo of his last wish. Keep loving, don't stop, and I promise you, after hearing your song, none of us will ever forget that. Thank you, Dr. Arcangell, for standing here, carrying a story that could have stayed private and sharing it with the world. Thank you for showing us that even in farewell, there is hope. And thank you for reminding us that the light of a true soul never fades.